Happy New Year everybody and welcome back to another video regarding Need for Speed 2021. Today we're going to be discussing probably the most important aspect to improve on, and judging from the last few games, that would be the online multiplayer. Of course, in 2015, it actually is the most packed of the three, which is a really weird thing to say. Of course, 2015's got the online free roam where you can do all the races together, and it's got all sorts of races as well. It's got speed lists, it's got speed lists. Payback just had speed lists at launch, and Heat didn't have speed lists. It just had online free roam, whereas Payback didn't have online free roam. It has been 5 years, at this point, it has been 5 years since we've had a game with both online free roam and a PvP. And this is just something that really does need to be improved on for the next game, because people, they're getting tired of it. I'm getting tired of it, you're getting tired of it, everybody else that plays Need for Speed in the last generation is getting sick and tired of these games that are just quite honestly not worth the $60 price that we are paying for, or what is it, £56 for me? I think it was £56 for Heat, and then I spent an extra 15 for the deluxe, whatever. It just ain't worth that much, you know, because we're not getting a full product. You know, you look at all these other games, like I mean, The Crew 2 doesn't even have good multiplayer. It didn't even have it at launch neither. Like, I don't know what it is with these racing games that just don't have what they're supposed to have at launch, you know. Of course, yeah, we obviously have the story, but it was really weird with Need for Speed Heat, because quite frankly the story wasn't very long. So surely we should have had speed lists. Surely they would have had time to work on speed lists if the story really weren't that long at all. I don't know. I don't know what it is. I honestly would have ditched off-road entirely to have multiplayer, but judging from the state of the respawning in Heat, hell, in Payback as well, in some occasions, I'd rather it just have been left as it was. I think they were right to leave speed lists out for Heat, at least at that time after it had released. There was no excuse for it not being in there before launch. Like, there's no excuse for them not working on it. But I mean, if they'd have just put speed lists in exactly like Payback, I think we all would have had an issue. The issue, really, right now, is that back in 2015, of course, that's when speed lists were first added. We had a proper PvP, like leaderboard, standing stuff. There was like race, drift, and mixed. I haven't got any footage of that in this video because I'm saving it for its own video with TJ, which will be our next live stream on Need for Speed 2015. So keep an eye on those notifications. I don't know when we'll do that, but we're definitely going to do that at some point. But basically, it was there. Speed lists was there. In this game, Need for Speed Payback, it was pretty much exactly the same, plus off-roading. But you also had the whole voting scheme, where people got to vote what race they wanted. Now, this was cool and all, but I'm pretty sure you got more votes if you were like last or something, or is it first? I can't remember. But I played the speed lists for 10 weeks straight in Payback. I did one stream every weekend for 10 weeks straight. So you can go check that out if you want. I thought the speed lists were okay, but you know, it was just something that was, it was broken, you know, quite frankly, it was broken, and that fits with another thing I want to discuss here. Overpowered cars in the online multiplayer. It's not something anybody wants, quite frankly. It's something that should be ironed out, but Payback has a massive issue with it. Heat, not so much, but Payback, because he nerfed a lot of these cars that we're talking about, or they were just quite, like, really broken in Heat. The Beetle, for example, because the Beetle is overpowered as balls in Payback. The Regera, whoever thought putting the Regera in online multiplayer was a good idea should be shot. I'm not even joking. Like, and you shouldn't be shot, but you should lose your job, quite frankly, because it is the stupidest thing I have ever seen ever. The Regera is 20 miles an hour ahead of everybody else. Don't even get me started on the RSR. Certain cars, if they are overpowered at launch and you can't fix them or haven't fixed them yet, quite frankly, should be banned from multiplayer. So that if the RSR, for example, if Heat had speed lists, the Regera, banned. RSR, banned. Beetle, banned. Any more overpowered cars, banned. Okay? They should have just been gone. Because it's honestly not fair. For drift cars, I can't believe I didn't mention that. Huracan, banned. RX-7, definitely banned in Heat. The Huracan was nerfed a little in Heat. The RX-7, however, The RX-7 is overpowered to all balls. But, I mean, you can't multiplayer drift events. And that's another thing. Drift events should become multiplayer again. Why is it, in a multiplayer aspect, a game that is 5 years old in Need for Speed 2015 is the best multiplayer that we have? That's really odd, isn't it? It's 5 years old. Quite frankly, I think 2 years just isn't enough, is it? Like, you have 2 years to make a game, but there was better multiplayers on the yearly cycle. Like, that's really odd. And I don't think that's Ghost's fault neither. I don't think that's just a Ghost thing. I think even if Criterion had been working on this generation, it would have been the same thing. Because, I mean, when they made amazing multiplayers, the single player was really lackluster. AKA Most Wanted 2012, and Hot Pursuit 2010's multiplayer is just overrated to all hell anyway. It's okay, it's average, but everybody was hyping it up when that game was out, and I said that in my review last month when we reviewed Hot Pursuit Remastered. I was really wound up at the fact that everybody, like Straight Up Hippo, LP Ripper, etc., like all love to you guys, but you were hyping that game up to all hell, and it ended up just being a waste. A complete and utter waste of time, a cash grab from EA, and you have nobody to blame but yourselves. Honestly, you guys, I'm surprised you didn't get backlash for the amount of hype you gave to that game. That was just stupid and dumb, because that game, quite frankly, was not a remaster. It was a port. It was a port. I don't care what you say. But this video isn't about that. If you want to go check out that video, you can go check out my Need for Speed Hot Pursuit Remastered. Is a pathetic excuse of a remaster video. I pretty much touched on everything as well that I had an issue with. Not only the remaster itself, but the actual game itself, and why it didn't deserve a remaster. It shouldn't have been remastered. I don't know. But, yeah. To hype that up and say, oh, that's the best multiplayer we've had this generation, like either Hot Pursuit 2010 or Most Wanted 2012, it really does say something about this generation in terms of Need for Speed games. And when I say this generation, I'm talking PS4 and Xbox One, not this generation as in PS5 and have you not. But basically, in this game, Need for Speed 2021, we need better, okay? Here's the thing. Most Wanted 2012 has the best multiplayer of any racing game, in my opinion. I feel like Burnout Paradise's multiplayer is great and all, but I feel like it has a little bit too much to accomplish to just get one car that you can get anyway. It's just another variant, you know, the Diamond P12, whatever. I think that's great and all. Burnout Paradise is great, but it's got a little too much in it. There's too much to accomplish. But, I mean, maybe that ain't a bad thing. Maybe that isn't. I think, though, there should be a difference between getting enough challenges done to unlock a car and getting enough challenges done to platinum the game. Of course, I think there should be, like, a difference between the two. But I digress. What we should have is Most Wanted 2012 style multiplayer. I don't even care if you do it the exact same. I know people complain about the stupid little jump things. I mean, a lot of people are just saying that, like, oh, jumps should not be in the game, but smashing billboards, that's not Need for Speed. I think that kind of has its place here now. I really liked the billboard smashing. I love smashing billboards in these Need for Speed games, and the jumps in Heat are amazing. They're incredible, okay? I don't care what you say. Like, I know, all respect to him because he's one of my favorite YouTubers, Black Panther really doesn't like the jumps and the billboards. Please don't listen to that, because there are a lot of players like myself that really do like the jumps and the billboards, and I really think they have a place in the multiplayer. For example, things that don't have a place are like the poker chips from Payback. That was just utterly pointless. I mean, Payback was utterly pointless anyway in terms of that stuff because there wasn't even any rewards for it. He did this right. Smash all the billboards, you get a specific car. You jump all the jumps, you get a specific car. Do all the speed traps, specific car, etc, etc, etc. I think you should keep that for the single player, but for the multiplayer, you should definitely take the clubs from Heat. Go join mine and TJ's high toxicity on Heat, whatever, it doesn't matter anyway. But I mean, if you're not maxed out crew level, join us. I don't care. But anyway, yeah, take that. Maybe do like crew versus crew. That would be pretty cool. You know, for various rewards, like, oh, I don't know, a car part. You know, like how Speedless in Payback had, if you won or finished a particular position, you get like a speed card. You know, have something like that, but not speed cards. Okay, people don't want that. I don't want that. Nobody wants that. So keep that out of the game. But yeah, just various car parts, maybe wraps. I know in 2015, in the Legends update, they added a bunch of wraps. Like the Razor wrap, like basically wraps from Underground, Underground 2, Carbon, Most Wanted, from the Blacklist, stuff like Pro Street, etc. Like, I feel like you should bring that back as rewards for multiplayer. Like, maybe bring back the Legends Edition cars for various multiplayer milestones. Like, for example, win 10 races, win 10 races and get Baron's Porsche Cayman from Most Wanted. Or win 100 races and get the BMW M3 GTR. Or, I don't know, trade paint 100 times and get Razor's car. Or, maybe have a Cops and Robbers game mode. Like, we know about Cops and Robbers. Everybody's done it on their channel. I personally haven't done it just yet. I do plan on doing it soon, but Black Panther did it a lot. I think he did it like once in 2015, but he did it a lot for Payback especially, and Heat. And I feel like bring that as an actual game mode, and like, for example, because the Corvette Z06 is already in the game, so I don't know, bust 100 races, get Cross's Corvette. You know, little things like that would be really cool. Or, I don't know, bring back the perfect launch aspect to, you know, races. You know how in Most Wanted and Carbon, and I think maybe the PS2 version of Undercover, maybe even the PS3 version of Undercover had it, but like, if you revved all the way and then on 2, you let go, and then went again on 3, you got the perfect launch. I can't believe people don't remember that. I remember that, and I haven't played Carbon in 2 years, but whatever. Do that like 100 times and get Carol Monroe's Mustang from Pro Street, because she was the drag king, not the drag queen, the race queen, whatever it was called. She was like the leader of drag for Pro Street. Okay, that would just be really, really cool. Or win 100 circuit races and get Eddie Skyline. I can do this all day. Those cars are already in the game. Eddie Skyline is anyway. The specific Mustang for Carol Monroe isn't, and for Razor it's the same Mustang, but bring that back. Perhaps all the body kits too. And that's another thing that I'll do in a particular video at some point, but I'll mention it right now. The body kits for these specific cars that are already in the game, like Rachel's 350Z body kit, Eddie's Nissan Skyline body kit. Make them actual body kits in the game. I don't know why this wasn't a thing in Heat, but it wasn't. Like, we know you can do it because the M3 GTR has had its own kit since 2015, and you can mix these parts together since Payback. So they should definitely do that for the next game. Criterion has the materials and the opportunities to make a really good Need for Speed game that not only follows in the footsteps of Ghost single-player ventures, because to be honest, I love 2015's single player. Payback single player ain't that bad neither. And Heat, I love Heat, okay? I might not love the story as much as I don't know actually. I like the 2015 story gameplay because there was a lot more in it. And I liked the calls aspect as well. And they brought that back a little bit in Heat. They should build off of what Heat set they were saying when they dropped, just before they dropped the crossplay update, and I got a little pissed off about this if you remember, that they said Heat was the foundation. And I said Heat should not have been a foundation game. Heat should have been what had built on 2015. 2015, the reboot was supposed to be the foundation, and they fucked it up with Payback. And Heat, they managed to bring it back. Heat is not supposed to be a foundation game, but that's what they said. If Heat is truly going to be your foundation game, then you have to build off it. You cannot change it. You cannot do what Ghost did with Payback. I don't even care if you do something like Most Wanted 2012, you know? It's still doing it wrong. You should build off of what Heat did. You know, Heat was incredible, okay? Make a longer story in that, give us more to do. The driving stories, give us more to do there. You've got that. But that's for another video. For multiplayer, maybe like have some multiplayer missions. I don't know. Maybe allow us to do multiplayer races together. I'm pretty sure 2015 had this. Like, you could do the races together, but not the actual missions. Can you imagine taking down Shaw together with your friends in Heat? Oh my, that would be insane. And what about that? What about that race against the 2 crew leaders? I forgot who they were. It's when Anna's in your car. Imagine doing that with your partners as backup. Can you imagine me and TJ doing a video together where we actually race? What are they called? The Speed Boys? Is it the Speed Boys? I don't think it's the Speed Boys. But I remember one of them having my legal name, Jordan. But you know what race I'm talking about. Pretty much, that would be a really good idea, personally. Because, I mean, can you imagine that? And that you get, and Heat did a really good thing for this in the reward bonuses as well, in Heat, in your races, because I think you got up to like 40% bonuses. Like, can you imagine doing your missions together? It would make the game so much more appealing if you could go through your story together. I've lost count of the number of games where I've helped people do their missions. Red Dead Online is one of these. Oh, my audio is playing in there. That was weird. My audio from the gameplay is playing in there, and I found that a bit weird. I hope that doesn't come through to my audio. Whatever. But that's pretty much what I'm talking about in terms of Heat's reward bonuses. Like games like Red Dead Online, I've always helped my friends play through their missions, and I would love to do that for Need for Speed. I wanted to do that for Heat, and unfortunately the only thing you're able to help each other with is do races to get more money. But helping people do missions, helping people through the night in rep bonuses, going with the cops as well, like getting away from the cops, that would be insane. You can kind of do it now, but to do it in missions would be incredible. End of the day, people are going to be really, really pissed off if we have another situation like Payback and Heat, because quite frankly, it's just unacceptable. We pay the price of a full price game for a half finished product, because that's what it is. Games without multiplayer nowadays that should have multiplayer are half finished. Games like Watch Dogs, as much as it hates me to say it, Watch Dogs is unfinished, you know. Watch Dogs 2 is unfinished. Watch Dogs Legion, even though they can change it right now, and even though they're delaying it, is unfinished until multiplayer is out. Because games like that should be multiplayer, and it's the same with the racing games. Forza has it. The Crew 2 didn't have it properly at launch, but it has it now, okay? You need to learn from your mistakes, because the fact that they didn't learn from it in Payback, they left one thing out, you know. I mean, yeah, not a lot of people played speed lists in Payback, but it, you know, just having speed lists like 2015 would have been a good idea, in my opinion. But they didn't even have drift multiplayer, which is just atrocious. It's absolutely atrocious, in my opinion. The fact that they didn't have any multiplayer drift races is just, no, that's not it. You shouldn't be doing that. You shouldn't be releasing your game like that. But, and as much as I hate to say, oh look, it's EA, like, it's not EA. This is in the hands of the developers. Need for Speed is lucky enough to have to be small enough Like, it's not small. It's the biggest racing franchise out there. But, like, I mean, I don't deem Fast and Furious as a racing franchise anymore. I'm sorry. I haven't deemed it for a few years, for a few movies. So, Need for Speed is the biggest racing franchise, in my opinion. But, like, you can't be the biggest racing franchise and have the most unfinished product, you know? And it's no excuse for EA, neither. Because, listen, you can't say, oh, EA is the reason they're doing this. Because if EA had more control, there would be a multiplayer. Guaranteed. There'd be multiplayer with microtransactions and everything. But there isn't that. Because they know money is to be made in multiplayer games. And the fact Payback didn't have the online free roam really harmed that game. It really did. And I mean, it didn't harm Heat as much because Heat actually has the online free roam. And to be fair, between the two, they went with the best decision to get online free roam instead of speedless. But still, they should have both. But the next game should not have speed lists like 2015. Should not have speed lists like Payback, more like. 2015 was okay. 2015 was the starting point that they just should have built off of, and they didn't. They didn't build off of it with Payback. I don't know what I don't know how to explain Payback. It's weird. I like Payback, but it's just not Need for Speed properly. Like, you know, it's weird. It's like a weird child between Forza and Need for Speed, and you just got and some like fucking British comedy, like really bad British comedy. And there you go, Payback. Whatever. I swear that Tyler Morgan guy was on EastEnders. But whatever. We shouldn't have to deal with this anymore. If the next game has not got speed lists, has not got multiplayer, like proper multiplayer, you ain't getting the... I said this in the last video for Need for Speed 2021. You're not getting the benefit of the doubt when 2023 videos come around. You're just not. I'm gonna go I'm gonna go all in with my frustration if the game is bad at launch. If the game is not what it should be at launch, you know? Even if you say, oh, multiplayer's coming soon, I ain't gonna believe you, because what if you get cancelled again, just like Heat, you know? Like, I'm gonna go at you from the get-go if the next game isn't what it should be, because you even started development early to not update Heat. I mean, yes, you did crossplay, but I mean, you've obviously done that for Hot Pursuit 2010 Remastered as well, so it obviously doesn't sound that difficult. So, yeah, you did like one update for Heat. Wow, la-di-da. You started development early for the next game. So if the next game does not have all the content that we should have, there's going to be some huge, huge issues. Pretty much, it's Criterion. Please do your multiplayer like Most Wanted 2012, and you've got a pretty decent multiplayer. Like, do it exactly like Most Wanted 2012 if you really want, with all the billboards and the jumps. Well, not as much jumps. I think keep it to the magnitude of, say, Heat, maybe a little bit more. I don't know. Like, have little challenges like drifting around you know, a certain structure for a certain amount of time, just like Most Wanted 2012 had. Heat's world was perfect for this. I mean, there was massive areas with just greenery, and that was obviously for some like off-road stuff. And yeah, keep those spots, like not off-road spots, but like cover them with something, like put something there, like an airport or something, you know? That would be really cool, like an actual airport, not airfield, like like Payback, you know? That would be cool if you still had an abandoned airfield, because Most Wanted 2012, if you guys remember, had an abandoned airfield and an airport. I mean, the airport was DLC, but I mean, whatever. You know, you'll heed my words in next year, I'm guessing, is when Most Wanted 2012 is going to get remastered, because, I mean, Paradise got remastered, Hot Pursuit remastered, Hot Pursuit 2010 has been remastered. It would be really surprising if they didn't take the really easy route and remaster Most Wanted 2012. So we will see. But pretty much, yeah, just have different landmarks as well. But that's for another video as well, for the map discussion and stuff like that. I feel like Heat's map would have been pretty good for a Most Wanted 2012 style multiplayer. Like, even the alleyways of, oh, is it Fort Callahan? It's somewhere near Fort. It's not the fort itself. It's like a little town near, no, there's just like a few buildings near, like across that motorway from Fort Callahan. You guys all know what I'm talking about. Like maybe drifting around those alleyways for a certain amount of time, getting the most amount of points in those alleyways. That would be really cool. The time trials as well, that could have been a thing in the speed lists. I don't know. Maybe have some little arenas, you know? Dirt Showdown style. Like bring back Gymkhana. I don't know. That would be really cool because 2015 had a version of Gymkhana, not proper Gymkhana, but I feel like it could do that. Speedcross was essentially Gymkhana. If you really don't want to remove off-road entirely, I wouldn't mind if you kept Speedcross. Speedcross was pretty cool. I mean, make it more Need for Speedish with the drifting and less off-roading stuff, like whatever. I still ain't played the Speedcross DLC yet. I will get to it at some point. But from what I've seen in it, it looks really fun. And I've seen a lot of it over the years from watching YouTube Let's Plays. So Speedcross would be a pretty cool replacement, I guess, for off-roading. I don't know. Just anything. Drag racing in multiplayer. Oh my god, how have I not mentioned that? Drag racing in multiplayer. 2015 had a version of it. I mean, I would have loved Payback's drag racing to be in the multiplayer. So bring that back. Like, I mean, a lot of people complained about it because they didn't understand it, but quite frankly, it's not that hard. It's actually, the launch style is very similar to how Most Wanted and Carbon was, with the perfect launches at the starting line. It's really eerily similar. I'm going to be making videos on Payback's drag racing pretty soon as well. Like, I really like the drag racing in Payback, so bring that back. Why that wasn't in Heat, I got no idea, but definitely bring that back. So yeah, that's all I got to talk about for today, I guess. This is a longer video than the previous one was, I think, which is really odd, but whatever. Let me know what you would like to see in the online multiplayer. I've pretty much talked about everything I would like to see. You know, like what I talked about earlier, Need for Speed Edition cars for various unlocks. That is definitely got to be something, and I will come back to that at some point in a future video. Pretty soon, because I'm going to be trying to make as many of these types of videos as possible for this game, for Need for Speed 2021, so we will see. Thank you guys so much for watching this episode of Need for Speed 2021 wishlists, whatever. If you liked it, hit that like button as hard as you possibly can. It is 2021 right now. The Need for Speed game is just 11 months away, and we are probably like 5-6 months away from a reveal, maybe even less time. We will see. But thank you guys so much for watching. If you liked it, hit that like button as hard as you possibly can. Comment, share, and subscribe. And I'll see you all in the next video. Till next time, peace!